So, today we're going to talk about an asset that you'll never see on a balance sheet. But for any investor, any partner, it might just be the most valuable one there is. And that's the measurable, bankable value of a person's integrity. To really get our heads around this, we're going to dive into the life of a man named Sun Oh and use his story as a powerful case study.
And this right here, this is the core idea. We live in a world that is just obsessed with financial capital, right? But what we're talking about here is human capital. The argument is that real, long-term success, it isn't built on funding. It's built on the foundation of someone's character, and that's something you just can't buy or sell. So let me ask you directly, when you're deciding who to partner with, who to build something with, what are you really betting on? Is it their bank account or is it their backbone? We're going to dig into that very question by looking at Sun Oh's life and see what it teaches us about what a true partnership is all about. All right, let's jump into our first section, the ultimate currency. In this part, we're going to explore the idea that in any high-stakes game, trust isn't just a nice little bonus. It is the most stable, most reliable currency you will ever find. And this brings us to a really crucial concept, character as collateral. I mean, think about it for a second. Financial collateral, it can vanish. Markets crash, money disappears. But a person's proven integrity, their track record of discipline, of reliability, that's a guarantee that's been built over a lifetime. That's the ultimate security on your investment in them.
So, how do you even build that kind of character? Well, let's see how this foundation was forged in service. We're talking about a 25-year career in one of the most demanding fields on the planet, where just one tiny lapse in judgment could have absolutely catastrophic results. And you can see that journey right here. Look, this isn't just a list of jobs. It's a ladder of trust. He starts on patrol, building public trust. Then he moves to protecting the courts. Then to handling the most sensitive, high-stakes homicide cases. From there, he was elevated to advanced surveillance, operations that are only given to the most trusted individuals. And finally, working alongside federal agencies against global crime networks. Every single step represents a higher level of vetting and a deeper reliance on his integrity. And this discipline, it wasn't just professional. No, it was deeply personal, rooted in a lifetime of martial arts. And this isn't about fighting. It's about focus, it's about control, and having an unshakable resolve when you're under extreme pressure. It's a mindset that literally shapes every single thing you do. But here's where it gets really interesting. This story isn't just about one man's reputation. The stakes are much, much higher than that. We're talking about a bond of integrity that actually spans across generations. First off, there's a very real, tangible, lifelong consequence for any misstep. Sun Oh gets a medical pension from his department. Now, this isn't just some income. It's a permanent tether to his service. Any criminal activity, anywhere, on the globe, and that bond is severed, instantly. The financial and reputational cost is absolute.
And this is where the stakes just get astronomical. His integrity is directly connected to the careers of his two sons. One of them holds top-level security access at Bloomberg. The other is a U.S. Army company commander with one of the highest security clearances in the entire country. For them, any kind of ethical or legal breach by their father, it could be catastrophic. It could literally end their careers. This makes his integrity not just a personal code, but a multi-generational pact he can't afford to break. Okay, so we've seen the history, we've seen the stakes, but what about the psychology behind it all? Let's take a look at the actual architecture of his resolve.
You know, you can tell a lot about someone from their nicknames, and his tell you everything. Inside law enforcement, he was known as 100. It was a call sign that came to mean pure precision in the pursuit of justice. But in the criminal world, they called him Mata, a warning that this was a force that never, ever gives up. One name stands for order. The other stands for resolve. Together, they show you a man who protects principle from every single angle. And the wild part is, the data actually backs this all up. You look at 3 completely different professional assessment models, DISC, 16 Personality, Enneagram, and the results are unbelievably consistent. They all paint the exact same picture. A disciplined, loyal, and protective leader who builds order and operates with an unshakable sense of moral clarity. So you can basically boil all that data down to 3 core archetypes that define how he operates. You've got the architect, who designs the structure and demands accountability. Then there's the Yoda, who guides with this calm wisdom. And finally, you have the Rottweiler, who protects what he values with a fierce, unshakable loyalty. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've seen the career, the personal discipline, the generational stakes, the psychological profile. So what does this all mean for a potential partner or an investor? Well, it creates the ultimate guarantee. Here it is, the bottom line, the ultimate investment thesis. When a person has structured their life so that their entire legacy, their financial security, their professional reputation, and their family's future is all on the line, their word becomes the most secure asset you can possibly invest in. He cannot risk it because he simply has too much to lose. And I think this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Loyalty is absolutely paramount, but it always comes second to principle. He is fiercely loyal to the people he trusts, but integrity, that's the one line that can never, ever be crossed. It's a completely non-negotiable term. And so that leaves us with one final question to think about. In a world where every single venture has risk, and where great things are never ever achieved alone, what is the true market value of a promise that cannot be broken?